Hey, and welcome to another episode. I want to talk to you about an important topic today, especially for us women who are high achievers, go-getters, and have high ambitions. I recently had a chat with a friend. She's a brilliant management consultant, and when we graduated, she, like many of us at business school, dreamt of working at McKinsey or Bain or one of the other big fours in that industry. Now, years later, she was finally headhunted to one of them, and she turned down the offer. Why? Because in her own words, their values don't match mine anymore. And that really stuck with me, because over the past years, I and many close to me have gone through similar shifts in ourselves, questioning what we value, how we see our worth tied to achievements, and working conditions we're willing to accept to pursue our career goals. This isn't about management consulting or similar career pursuits per se. It's about any work where you're expected to push past your limits so far and for so long that it affects your well-being eventually. And sure, there are times where we all work harder to sprint ahead, but it shouldn't be the status quo, period. Now, I can hear you saying something like, but Thomasine, people like Emma Grede and David Goggins say if you want to get somewhere in life, you got to work for it. And I hear you. I listen to them too, because I totally agree with Emma Grede and these people. I can't say that I'm just hoping to reach millions of people with my message. I'm showing up day in and day out. I'm working hard. I truly am. But there are stark differences in how I show up today, how I speak to myself, how I motivate myself compared to earlier in life. I think about this most days, and if you're still watching, I know that you think about it too. How do you strike the balance between putting in the work to meet your goals and not letting your drive, your ambitions, negatively affect your health? That's what I want to explore with you today through 3 principles that have been essential for me and my clients when making daily decisions about how to balance ambition with vibrant energy and health and well-being. So the 3 principles I want to explore are: productivity does not have to equal stress, recognizing when you're driven by external recognition versus inner fulfillment, perfectionism versus excellence, fear versus excitement. And 3, discipline and boundaries to apply 1 and 2 in practice. But before diving in, let me give you a super quick intro to me. Growing up, I did many of the things to have a so-called accomplished life based on many of society's made-up standards. I competed in alpine ski racing. I studied at top business schools in Europe and Asia. I started working as a management consultant already at the age of 21 while studying. And on paper, my career looked bright until my body crashed with gut and hormonal chaos, skyrocketing inflammation, and the worst rashes that left me bleeding through the night. I had to take a full year off of work to fully recover, and when I returned, consulting didn't feel right for me anymore. And not because my workplace wasn't supportive, quite the opposite. They left me so much freedom to heal and practice daily, applying the principles that we'll talk about today. Now, it was more about the fact that I'd uncovered a new purpose that gave me true inner fulfillment, motivating me from inside out, not the other way around. Now, fast forward 6 years, I'm now a double certified health coach, medicine yoga teacher, breathwork guide, helping go-getters regulate their nervous system and shift their mindset and identity and upgrade their lifestyle to reduce the effects of chronic stress and the symptoms that it causes. Okay, enough about me. Let's dive into principle 1. Productivity does not have to equal stress. I had a massive aha moment when realizing that you can be productive without feeling stress, without the stress hormones taking over and controlling your life. This involved realizing that my ability to move towards my goals at speed does not have to imply running over my body's signals. That a regulated nervous system, one that can flexibly shift between a high intensity state for when I need to get shit done and then down-regulate into calm and recuperation again, is what will take me faster to my goals. That a nervous system that is always on may win the sprint, but not the marathon of life. Because now I know that hypervigilant energy is short-lived and it will eventually lead to various health symptoms like sleep disturbances, difficulty concentrating, retaining info, thinking creatively, being present in conversations, making informed decisions, etc. All of which are also essential for doing a good job. So a key takeaway in this point is that doing a good job and pursuing your goals does not have to come at the cost of your body and your health and your well-being. But it does imply that you will want to consider, one, having discipline around the thoughts you choose, what you identify with, and the way you choose to work, because all of this is a choice. And two, that you set boundaries to protect your energy and your discipline, because that is what's going to get you to your goals, not cutting corners and seeing how long you can last on the edge of burning out. So let's uncover these two one by one. Principle number 2, external validation versus internal fulfillment, perfectionism versus excellence, fear versus excitement. Most people who have ever struggled with stress or burnout know the trap, comparing yourself to others or chasing society's expectations of what success should look like. But here's the problem. External validation will never make you happy. It's a moving target, totally outside your control, because you can't dictate how others perceive you. You end up chasing an invisible finish line that only makes you miserable. Inner fulfillment, however, is defined by you. It's steady, energizing, and runs in the background all the time. Not just in those fleeting moments of recognition, like an award or an achievement, because they disappear just as fast as they come. Inspiration from others is healthy, but comparison is not. Perfectionism is often born from external validation and comparison. Dr. Brian, in a podcast with Emma Greed, speaking of which, explained that perfectionism often shows up as procrastination, conflict avoidance, micromanagement, trying to control everything that can't be controlled. Excellence, on the other hand, is different. It's driven by curiosity, by growth, by excitement about what you want to learn or achieve, not someone else's definition of what you should do. But here's the catch. Many convince themselves that they're driven by excellence when it's actually rooted in low self-worth. The real test is asking yourself, do I feel good enough even when I don't achieve this, even when I don't get this thing done? And this ties back directly to fear versus excitement. Fear can look like perfectionism, risk aversion, or playing small to avoid criticism. It's very normal. Your nervous system is trying to keep you safe from anything that feels unfamiliar. Excitement, on the other hand, often feels the same in your body. Racing heart, sweaty palms, alertness. So what is the difference? The difference is safety cues. With safety cues, your nervous system activates the ventral vagal state. It's like having energy, but with the brakes on. So it becomes expansive rather than destructive. I go through this much more in detail in my Arrive to Thrive course. So click the link below if you want a deep dive. So ask yourself and be brutally honest with yourself as you do. Am I chasing validation or inner fulfillment? Is my drive showing up as perfectionism or excellence? Does it feel like fear or does it feel like excitement and expansion? The answers will shape how your nervous system interprets the world around you and ultimately the results that you create, the reality that you have. Principle number 3, discipline and boundaries. If you've resonated so far, then you'll probably realize that living true to yourself while protecting your health requires discipline and boundaries. Now, discipline often sounds rigid and negative, but I see it differently. Discipline is what creates freedom and peace of mind. Not the grind harder type of discipline, but the kind that helps you work smarter. Be disciplined about your focus. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. We only have so many hours in the day, and the more you spread your focus, the less energy each of these things will receive. And the less productive you will be, and the less impact you will have in each of your endeavors. Science backs this up. Also, be disciplined about what and who you allow to influence you. Negative news, self-critical thoughts, criticism from other people, the people around you, how they talk to themselves. It all influences you and the way that you speak to yourself and what you believe in as truth. And be disciplined about what and who you say yes to, because every single yes to someone else's needs and demands is a no to yourself, to nourishing your body, mind, and soul, so you have more energy to also give to others. And this is where boundaries come in. First, with yourself. If you don't respect your own boundaries, no one else will. Decide on some non-negotiables, like no emails after 7 p.m. and going to bed by 10:30 p.m. and communicate them to the people around you. And yes, this is where many of us struggle with boundary setting. We're scared of conflict as our worth is often tied to other people's approval. No wonder we find it easier to then give way to other people's expectations and demands rather than prioritizing our own well-being. Most of us, honestly, find it easier to run over our own needs than to have to handle everyone else's disappointment. But you know what? Do what Mel Robbins does. Let them be disappointed. Let them be upset with you. What's the worst that can happen? They will stay with you if they are good people. They will respect you if they love you. And it's those type of people who you want to have around you anyway. But the way you communicate it is even more important than what you actually communicate. And I'm on a mission to help women change this narrative, not least by doing the work myself, practicing every single day. For instance, when I start a new project or work relationships, I often say, this is how you get the best out of me. Not to be difficult, but to set up for both of us to have a productive relationship where they get the best version out of me. In my mind, that's a win-win. I'm setting boundaries, but they win from it. And yes, I hear you. Obviously, we have to be flexible once in a while, as collaboration is such an important part of also progressing towards your goals. But don't let people-pleasing become your default. The most inspiring people I know protect their energy through discipline and through boundaries. And that's exactly what makes them successful. Okay. Let's summarize these 3 principles. To reach your career goals whilst avoiding negative health effects, 3 principles to start living by include productivity does not equal stress, or said differently, working towards your goals does not have to equal running over your health. And 2, there's a vital distinction between external validation and inner fulfillment, perfectionism versus excellence, fear versus excitement. In each of these pairs, one can drive you to the ground, the other can make you reach your goals and actually enjoy the journey there. And 3, have discipline and set healthy boundaries around your non-negotiables. First with yourself, then communicate them out towards the people around you. Wow, this was a lot. I hope you got something out of this conversation. And if it resonates, and if you want to go deeper into reversing the health effects of chronic stress with nervous system regulation, mindset shifts, and lifestyle upgrades, then check out my membership, Revive to Thrive, where we deep dive on all the topics that we discussed today. Check out the link pinned below, and hopefully we'll have a chat. Ciao!